3, 2... Good morning, hello, and welcome to This Date in History, aka TDH. This show is about what happened to date throughout the annals of recorded history. Join us as we delve into yesteryear, not only for interesting and important happenings, but to possibly even answer questions you do not know you have. The sources of this information come from the smart device application Today in History, What Happened Today in History, Historical Calendar, and the website onthisday.com. For links to these sources and anything else potentially interesting, check the underbar of the description below. All links gathered throughout the show will appear post-livestream. Anyway, I am Aoxander, and today I'm joined by...
Ing's Refuge.
Yep, and we will be joined by the Golden Loon here soon, eventually. Anyway, today is October 28th. It is Saturn's Day, aka Saturday, 2023. We just got joined by...
the Golden Loon.
Welcome to the show. You're drinking cold water on this cold day?
Not cold out.
Yes, it is. You're wearing a robe.
This is a summer robe.
You wear robes when you're cold, not when it's warm. Like,
holy cow.
My goodness. Yeah. Anyway, let's get into the history today, shall we? Starting us off in the year 306, we have Maxentius was proclaimed Emperor of Rome. Alright. And 6 years later, in 312, Emperor Constantine the Great defeated rival Maxentius at the Battle of Milvian Bridge. Oh, well, look at that. 6 years later on the date, he was proclaimed emperor, and then he got defeated by Constantine. So, that's pretty interesting. 12... What's up?
Not.
Oh.
They must have it on a specific day, is why
Yeah.
it's the same date.
Yeah.
It's
So,
not a coincidence.
yeah, so they purposefully went battle, like, just as, like, an ego crusher, maybe, you know? Like...
Well, I mean, as far as the date goes, they had to have it every 6 years or every year, or whatever it is. They're going to have that election or whatever.
Oh, no, but this was a battle. This wasn't a...
yeah, true.
This was a... Like, this wasn't you don't elect an emperor. Well, I guess they did. I'm not sure.
Well, they just do away with them.
Yeah. Well, that's what happened here.
Yeah.
And actually, if you look at the two busts here...
So you're right. I'm wrong. You're right.
Well,
it's not... It is a...
Well, like,
strange deal for the same day.
Well, if you look at Constantine, you know, his statue here is looks pretty good. And then Maximus, they smashed his nose. That's not nice.
Well...
They gave him the Sphinx treatment.
Yeah.
Huh. Anyway, moving on up to 1216, Henry III, aged at 9 years old, was crowned King of England at Gloucester Cathedral after the death of his father, King John. The second coronation was in 1220, when he was actually old enough to, you know, like, be a king. But can you imagine at 9 years old, now you're the king? Like, after your dad died? Like, what a rush.
Well, you have
like,
no concept at 9 years old what you're going to be doing.
Well, not a woohoo. It's like, what the hell? Like your dad dies, and now you're the leader of a nation. What is going on?
So it's like we have today in our country. Who's really ruling the thing? He isn't at 9 years old.
Well, I know Brandon ain't ruling shit. Moving on, 1265, Eleanor de Montfort, wife of slain Baron Rebellion leader Simon de Montfort and sister of King Henry III, left England for exile in France after negotiating an end to siege of Dover Castle. Alright. 1420, Beijing was declared the capital of the Ming Dynasty under the Yongle Emperor. Beijing.
Yeah, Beijing, yeah.
1449, Christian I was crowned King of Denmark in the Church of Our Lady, Copenhagen, establishing the House of Oldenburg, which still rules the Danish throne today.
Oh.
So that legacy is still going on today.
And that was what date again?
1449.
Jeez.
So, yeah, that's pretty cool. You know,
before I was born.
Not by much.
Thanks.
Hey, you set it up.
Yeah.
What do you expect me to do about
I'm
it?
a straight man. What can I tell you?
Well... 1492, Christopher Columbus sighted Cuba and claimed it for Spain under the name Juana. Or Juana? I don't know. 1531, Battle of Ambasel, Ahmed Ibn Ibrahim al-Ghazi again defeated the army of Labana Dengal, Emperor of Ethiopia. The southern part of Ethiopia fell under Imam Ahmad's control. So this was like, you know, like... area of land taken over and whatnot. 1538, the first university in the New World, the Universidad Santo Tomas de Aquino, was established on Hispaniola. So the first university in the Americas, in the New World.
Yeah.
1636, Harvard University, Cambridge, was founded by a vote of the Massachusetts General Court. So that's interesting. They voted to, you know, create Harvard.
To create a... Well, someone has to fund it, I guess.
Yeah. 1640, English King Charles I signed a peace treaty with the Scottish Covenanters, ending the Second Bishops' War. And I only talk about that because, Scotland is currently under the United Kingdom's control. And, I've spoken with you about it, but as a refresher to anybody who doesn't know, and in case King here doesn't know, Scotland cannot become independent for the foreseeable future because it is part of the of NATO. So if Scott becomes independent, then as an independent country, they have to resubmit to become under NATO. And while all that, legislator and legal paperwork and all that stuff is, under escrow and all that crap, that essentially creates the water around Scotland, non-policeable, because it's no longer, outside of Scotland, it's, and England. Not even England. Outside of Scotland, now it's independent. They can't do anything if Russia decides to just, send a whole fleet or whatever.
Right. Why do you put so much emphasis on that as far as Scotland seceding if they chose to?
Well,
I don't see the exact importance. I don't think Russia would go, now's our opportunity. Let's get Scotland.
Well, no. They're not going after Scotland. They're going to be using the waterways to just bypass. They can't do that because of NATO.
Well, if you get Scotland, then you own the waterways.
Well, they're not going after Scotland. I'm just saying if Scotland becomes independent, that could raise the possibility of them getting invaded by Russia. But
my question is, why are you putting such an emphasis on that? Would that be a turning point for them to not secede if they?
That's why they don't. That's why they.
How do you know that?
Because I've watched videos about it and I've looked up into documents.
It's really interesting.
Yeah.
Until we talked about it some time ago.
Yeah.
I didn't really understand that.
Yeah, no, because of the legality that NATO cannot do anything, if Scotland becomes independent until Scotland becomes part of NATO. That creates that waterway neutral, essentially, and it'll give Russia just to go right out there and then, attack us right off our coast, So, anyway, let's get back into history here. 1646, first Protestant church assembly for American Indians established in Massachusetts. All right, so Native Americans, if they're Protestants, forceful conversions and all that stuff. 1664, the Duke of York and Albany's Maritime Regiment of Foot, later to be known as the Royal Marines, was established. So Canada, your Marines.
Yeah.
Yep, the Canadian Royal Marines. They originally called the Maritime Regiment of Foot. What a name!
Yeah.
It's like the Foot Clan out of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles or something. 1726, Gulliver's Travels by Jonathan Swift was published by Benjamin Motte in London. Yeah, really good book. Good story.
Yeah.
Recent adaptation starring Jack Black. Not bad. So, 1746, Peruvian cities of Lima and Callao were demolished by an earthquake, causing the deaths of 18,000 people. Wow. 1790, New York gave up claims to Vermont for $30,000. So that's interesting. New York. They had claims with Vermont.
Huh.
So that's probably how Vermont got its... Because Vermont was not part of the original 13.
No, I wouldn't. Yeah, I forget who exactly is, but
well, New York, hold on a second. Original 13, I know Virginia, Massachusetts.
Vermont, you're right.
Not Vermont.
Be part of it.
Actually, would it have been? Hold on a second.
Well, nothing but open territory up there.
New Hampshire, Massachusetts, Rhode Island, Connecticut, New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Delaware, Maryland, Virginia, North Carolina, and South Carolina, and Georgia.
Okay, yeah.
So, let's look at the map. Okay, yeah, so there's New Hampshire. Okay, so it looks like... So let's look at a New York state map.
You got to realize, though, Vermont, now you think of Vermont today, but when they're talking about buying that for $30,000,
yeah,
that was just open territory.
Yeah.
There are Indians living up there, if anything.
Yeah.
That'll be it.
Well, I was trying to see if there's any deviation in the border, but New York doesn't have a straight border on this edge, so whatever it is that they ceded, it's a minute amount. Anyway, if anybody wants to, show us exactly, that rabbit hole, please let us know in the comment section. Moving on to 1793, Eli Whitney applied for a patent for his cotton gin machine used to pull cotton fibers from the seed.
Yeah.
And see, what a lot of people don't realize is that did not do anything to help slavery. In fact, it just made it worse. because
How's that?
because now you have an efficient way to pull the cotton from the seed.
Yeah.
Now you want more slaves to go pick the cotton, from, because it's not picking the cotton from the plant. It's just removing the cotton from the seed.
Of course. Yeah.
So now the demand for more cotton, so you need more slaves to pick more to feed the machine faster. You see?
And you have to plant more.
Yeah.
More cotton.
So
and
if
everything.
anything, it just made the slave industry even bigger. It just made more demand for slaves.
For labor, which was
for
slavery.
labor. Yeah. So
Okay.
yeah. 1811, first known purchase of Jane Austen's novel Sense and Sensibility by the Prince Regent, later George IV, a fan. Well, that's interesting.
What year was that again?
1811. So
Okay.
let me scoot on up here. Yeah. So, wow. So, could you imagine like having your book published and then being bought by a prince who later became a king?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. That Jane Austen was something. I mean, a woman in those days, right?
Yeah. Well, let's not forget Mary Shelley.
Yeah.
Frankenstein.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like-
I drew a
like-
blank for a minute.
like-
yeah.
Like invented the monster genre. So. 1811, we got that. 1828, Clara Week, at the age of 9, made her official debut on a piano recital at the the Gewandhaus Concert Hall in Leipzig, Germany. All right, that's pretty cool. 1831, Michael Faraday demonstrated his dynamo invention, an electrical generator. And Michael Faraday, he was a blacksmith, and he became electrician and everything. You ever heard of a Faraday cage?
No, I don't think so.
That's what you get into when you're around a Tesla coil. Like it's a metal cage around you to take and ground the electricity so it doesn't get to you.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
yep.
Okay.
1846, pioneers suffered blizzard in Sierra Nevada, causing the deaths of 42. That's right. So the Sierra Nevada mountains.
Yeah.
So, wow.
You have brutal winters up there. We had one last winter up there.
Yeah, you do not want to be a pioneer
Unbelievable.
at this time of year. You want to be pretty much getting done with your pioneering.
Yeah. You want to be where you're going to be by now.
Yeah. 1848, the first railroad in Spain between Barcelona and Mataró was opened. All right. 1856, French magician Jean-Eugène Robert Houdin performed for, is that Houdini?
No, I don't think so.
Robert Houdin. Okay, so that's somebody else. Performed for Algerian marabouts in Algeria to convince them that French magic is the stronger. Okay. French magic is superior. It must be the frog legs and escargot. Ha ha ha. 2 years later, 1858, R.H. Macy and Company opened its first store on 6th Avenue, New York City. Gross receipts, $11.06. Now that became Macy's, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course. That's
and
the
we just got a
establishment.
vacuum from Macy's.
Yeah, I picked it up
2 days
Thursday
ago.
or something.
Yeah. Yeah. It's pretty cool. 1867, Maimonides College in Pennsylvania was the first Jewish college in the U.S. All right. So, segregation, okay.
I wonder if it's still established today.
Let's see here. Let's look that up. Get rid of that. I have too many tabs. You know what? Hold on a second. Original 13. Let's add this in the underbar, the description below, real quick, just for hee-haws. 1867 to 1873. It was named for the great medieval Jewish philosopher and Torah sage Maimonides. Although short-lived, it was the first Jewish theological seminary in the U.S., so it's no
6
longer
years.
around.
No, it's only lasted 6 years.
Huh. Ah. Well, all right.
Time.
Yep. 1882, Athletics revealed $22,000 profit in their first season in the American Association. So I guess like the very birth of like professional sports in a way, like baseball, like stuff like that.
What sport was this again?
This just says athletics.
Okay, that's
So
why I
like
didn't.
1882. Well, I think it's before they branched out into their separate things. All sports were just one conglomerated thing. I guess before it branched out into baseball and football and soccer and
I don't understand
tennis.
what that means though.
You know what? Let's just do a surface level scan of this article really quick, just to see what comes up. Okay, well I'm just getting things from the source. The economic history of Major League Baseball. Okay, so
it's baseball.
yeah, well, that's why I said baseball was the first. That's why it's called America's pastime.
Okay, yeah.
It's the first sport that became professional.
Yes.
So,
Okay. Yeah, no, that.
So that's why I'm saying athletics. It's talking about the whole shebang. Before they got the different leagues and all this stuff that we have today. So.
Okay, move on. I don't get it, but go ahead. I get the baseball part, but
they're
not saying that.
Because it's all rounded up into one thing.
See, that's what I don't understand. What you're talking about, rounded up.
Well, okay, before in the NFL.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, everything
baseball
was college.
Was the first.
No, I'm talking about football, NFL, not MLB. Yeah. Before the NFL, everything was all in college.
Oh, absolutely.
And then that evolved into.
In college, football was the big sport, not professional football.
I understand, but then that evolved into professional. Okay, yeah. Same with that mentality. Back in 1882, there was no such thing as professional sports. So anything professional sports, whether it be baseball, rugby, football, U.S. football, if it was invented, tennis, whatever,
I got you. Okay, I got what you're saying.
All went into one umbrella thing before they split off into their own different, separate Major League Baseball, NHL,
So let me interrupt. I got you. So what is this? How did they make $22,000 off of what?
Professional sports. Ticket sales, merch. I don't know.
Okay, move on. Okay. You're not specific enough for me. Go ahead.
It's just the athletics. It literally is a fetus in the womb. 1886, the Statue of Liberty was dedicated by the U.S. President Grover Cleveland, celebrated by first confetti or ticker tape parade in New York City.
Oh, that's incredible.
Yeah.
Today's the day.
Today's the day. So, even though the Statue of Liberty was given well before that, it almost went into the scrapyard, actually. It was actually in a scrapyard. It was set to be scrapped. And somebody's like, hey, let's put this together. Like, they actually had forgotten about it for a while. Like, it was in pieces, yeah.
Yeah, it came over in pieces.
Yeah, well, it came over in pieces. We never assembled it, and it just kind of disappeared. Like, I believe. Or maybe that's a Mandela effect. I don't know. I remember something was in a scrapyard. Hold on. You know what? Let me look this up here. Statue of Liberty in scrapyard.
Copper.
Yeah. Hold on a second. Statue of Liberty found. Okay, well, it's not. I guess I'm Mandela affecting. Anyway, 1890, the World Championship Baseball Series, Washington Park, and that's in quotations, still in infancy, as I was saying. Mm-hmm. Louisville Cardinals defeated the Brooklyn Bridge Grooms 6-2 in Game 7 to tie series 3-3-1. The deciding game was never played.
Weird. Yeah, let's forget it.
As what I said, it's in its infancy. Nobody gets it's sports. Like, everybody's.
I got it.
They're too busy, like plowing the fields and crap, back in the day.
Worrying about what they're going to eat.
Yeah. 1891, a quake struck Mino Owari in Japan, killing 7,300 people. Yikes. 1893, Pyotr Ilyich Tchaikovsky conducted first performance of his Symphony No. 6 in B minor, Pathy in St. Petersburg, Russia, 9 days before his death. Whoa. That's... Moving on up, finally in the year 1900, the two-summer Modern Olympic Games in Paris, France. Competition ended after 5 months. No opening or closing ceremonies conducted. So that is a long Olympic Games and no opening or closing ceremonies or anything. Mm. And something interesting, the whole torch ceremony and all that stuff?
Yeah.
Do you know who invented that? Adolf Hitler.
He brought in the torch?
He brought in the torch as a symbol of Aryan superiority.
You're kidding.
No, that was Hitler's invention. Wow. Yeah, you know what? Let's look it up right now.
Are you sure? Because I thought that flame's been going since the...
since Greek times, right?
That's the mythology, but the actual thing...
I thought since the Olympics, that torch has been lit. That flame's been preserved.
Who came up with the Olympic torch? Conceived by Dr. Karl Diem of Germany, the modern torch relay was inspired by ancient Greek drawings and writings of the Plutarch. Diem created the first relay from Olympia to Berlin as part of the opening ceremony of the 1936 Olympic Games. So it wasn't Hitler, but it was the Nazis.
Well, that is Hitler, 36.
Well, that's it. But I thought he invented it.
Oh, no.
Like how he created the Volkswagen.
Okay.
Yeah.
I got what you're saying.
So, but it was still...
He have said, come up with it. You don't know. It was his regime. Let's put it that way. So you're right. You're dead on. As far as I'm concerned, you're right.
So this tried and true, thing that we still, like, it's a torch, it's a torch. It's a Nazi invention. What the hell?
Invention, they just interpreted it and said, this would be good to bring here.
It's a creation, whatever. Like, you get what I'm saying.
The flame's been around, but
yeah.
I don't know if they took a Bic lighter and started it right there in 1936.
Actually, there's a lot of video, because I was watching a video, and this is how I learned about it the other day. Like, there's a lot of instances where the torch has gone out, and somebody literally comes up with a lighter and relights it. Like, it is not sacred at all. Like,
they had a box for it and to protect the flame.
That's all show and dance. Like, if
that sounds logical.
Yeah, because like there's one time. Remember when they had it like underwater or something? They
Well, the torch itself can go up, but they supposedly have the flame in a box that they light the torch with, and then it carries. If it goes on, they still have the original flame.
They probably have that, but there is one video I saw, like a clip where someone literally lights it up with like a lighter. So it's just like, it's not a thing.
But
anyway,
not if they still have the original flame, because that's where they go back to. That torch wouldn't be the. So there's still hope. I still can keep my naivete about.
But
this
at the end of the day, it was still brought up in modern day by the Nazis.
That's kind of crushing.
Anything I can do to ruin your world.
Yeah, that's right. You ruined my day. What the hell am I doing here?
Anyway, 1906, Belgian-British Union Miniere du Haut-Katanga mining company created in what is now the Democratic Republic of Congo. So I wonder if that mining company is still around. 1908, the English newspaper and Daily Telegraph, the Daily Telegraph, printed an interview with Germany's Emperor Wilhelm II, who characterizes himself as personally friendly to Britain, but suggests the German people are hostile, causing uproar in both countries. What the hell? Why would you say your own people are hostile? That is so dumb. And this is 1908. This is before the outbreak of the First World War.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, there had to be unrest by 1908.
Oh, definitely. 1911, Bill Dobby of Calgary, the Calgary Tigers kicked 10 singles in a game. Sounds pretty impressive. Kicked 10 singles. So I guess football or soccer. So
rugby? I don't know.
Rugby, maybe. I don't know.
Okay.
Certainly not cricket.
Cricket.
They're not talking about a zicky wiki viggy licky, 7 centuries in a pickle fickle. I don't know. 1916, the Australian government held a national referendum seeking support for the proposal of compulsory conscription. It was rejected. Well, yeah, but nobody wants to get conscripted during war, mate. Oh. 1918, Czechoslovakia gained independence as Austria-Hungary broke up. All right, so happy birthday, Czechoslovakia.
They broke up. That sounds like a date.
Yep. 1918 as well. Tomas Masaryk claimed independence for Czechoslovakia. Okay, so yeah, that's right. We have 3 articles that could have been summed up into one. All 3 of these here. And then 1918, Republic of Czechoslovakia created with Thomas Masaryk as its first president. So yeah, they gained independence when they broke up. First president, and then he. Well, that's weird, huh? So in this order, it says that Czechoslovakia gained independence. Okay. Then the Republic of Czechoslovakia was created with this guy as its first president. Okay. And then he claimed independence. How can you claim independence after you gain independence? Like, I guess that makes sense. Kinda.
I don't know.
I mean, you are independent, so you can technically claim it.
And then claimed independence from Czechoslovakia.
That's why I'm saying 3 articles talking about literally the exact same thing. Like, why couldn't they roll this up into one? That's weird. Anyway, 1919, the Volstead Act was passed by U.S. Congress, establishing prohibition, despite President Woodrow Wilson's veto. Probably the smartest move that idiot ever did, Woodrow Wilson, was try to veto prohibition.
Would claiming be something different, like maybe, I don't know, an official declaration?
Well, that's what I was thinking. See, once he was elected, then he made an official declaration. I like the way you put that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like that would make sense.
My point. Yeah.
Because you are independent, so you can declare. Right now, Brandon could declare the U.S. independent and not be wrong because
they formed a new government, elected a president,
yeah,
and then the president formally declared independence.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
That makes
Perfect.
sense.
Right on. You added that perfect.
Yep. Then 1922, following up on his promise, just yesterday actually, 30,000 Italian fascists conducted the March on Rome, leading to the assumption of power by Benito Mussolini. So yeah, he said, and actually, let's see if I'm not going to look it up, but he basically told the Italian government, and I believe it was 1922 yesterday, that either you will hand over the government to us, the people, or we, the people, are coming. And he, the people, came with 30,000, and thus began fascism. So,
that was Hitler's mentor.
Yes, he was. Yes, he was. Yeah, Italy invented fascism, and then Germany just perfected it and went crazy.
Yeah.
So, and then now the U.S. is taking its reins.
Eventually looked at him as Mussolini as weak.
Yeah, he did because. We're going to be talking about that just here in a second about. Well, first off, let's do this 1922 as well. First U.S. coast-to-coast radio broadcast of a football game.
Hey.
That's cool.
Yeah, coast to coast.
Coast to coast, 1922.
I wonder who played. Don't worry about it. Don't look it up.
Let's just do a surface level just to see. Okay. What was the first broadcast in 1922? London? Okay, that's something else. Okay, well, that's a rabbit hole. If anybody wants to answer Loon's question in the comment section, that'd be awesome.
Loony enough.
Yeah. But let's see here. 1924. Actually, no, that's much later. Hold on a second. So the point I was trying to make, my brain had farted with Italy. Sorry, I'm kind of scatterbrained today. Was that, and we're going to be talking about this later on, as I said. But during World War II, Italy tried to invade Greece, and they got some decent ground, but then they got pushed back. And then, very much like in Africa, Germany had to come in and back Italy up. Germany was always playing bodyguard because Italy had all these, colonies and stuff in Africa. That's why we first started fighting in Africa, was because of Italy's colonies. But because Italy was weak, Germany had to come in and bolster their forces. They had to do the same in Greece, and they had to do the same when Italy got invaded itself. So since the start, Italy was getting their teeth kicked in.
Yeah.
So, but they were not ready at all. Anyway, 1924, miner M.D. Bruin discovered the infant fossil skull Tong child in the lime quarry in Tong, South Africa. Paleoanthropologist Raymond Dart identified the fossil as a new hominin species, Australopithecus africanus. All right. So, human genomes and whatnot.
Species.
Yep. While that was going on, the White Sox defeated the New York Giants 8-4 in Dublin. Less than 20 fans attended.
Not good.
Ooh.
Yeah, I bet they didn't bring their A game. They're like, nobody's watching us. Like, what are we doing? This is just a practice match? What is this?
Is my paycheck going to be good?
1927, KLM airmail plane Homing Pigeon arrived back in Amsterdam after the first special round-trip flight to the Dutch East Indies. Wow. So the Dutch East Indies, so that's India.
Yeah.
So all the way from Amsterdam to India and then back, round trip.
Yeah.
Airmail. In 1924, or 27, that's pretty good.
Yeah. Oh, very good.
Yeah. 1 year later, 1928, Indian freedom fighter Lala Lajpat Rai, injured leading a silent protest against visiting British Commission in Lahore, later died of injuries on the 17th of November. That sucks. So, 1928 as well, Indonesian child laws were enforced in Bahasa, Indonesia. Good. Protect the children.
Yeah.
34, the Brooklyn Dodgers and Pittsburgh Pirates played first of only 4 penalty-free games in NFL history. Wait.
Penalty-free?
But that's the Dodgers.
That's baseball.
Yeah. Hold on a second. This is 34. Dodgers won 21-3 at Epps Field in Brooklyn. But that's baseball, not football. What?
So finish what you were saying, because it doesn't make sense.
I did. The Brooklyn Dodgers and Pittsburgh Pirates played first of only 4 penalty-free games in NFL history. Dodgers won 21-3 at Epps Field in Brooklyn.
Yeah, they got that wrong. Whatever, they've inserted something wrong.
Yeah, because the Dodgers are baseball.
No penalties, and it's not the NFL.
I mean, I'm not a sports guy, but even I know that that's not right. You know,
Yeah.
like you saw, like I was just like, wait, like,
Yeah.
NFL, wait, hold on a second.
Yeah.
The Dodgers are baseball. 1936, Franklin Delano Roosevelt rededicated the Statue of Liberty on his 50th anniversary. All right. Yeah, I know you don't like him. 1939, Warner Brothers released gangster film The Roaring Twenties, directed by Raoul Walsh, starring James Cagney and Humphrey Bogart. Sounds like a movie I'd like to see.
Yeah.
And here we go, 1940, as I said, Greece successfully resists Italy's attack.
Oh,
So,
okay.
yeah, see, so during World War II.
Yep.
1940 as well, meeting between Adolf Hitler and Benito Mussolini in Florence, Italy. Oh, so same day. So he's probably like, hey, why are you sucking so bad everywhere all the time?
Yeah.
Like, I looked up to you, man. What's the problem? Like, the student now I have become the master. 1941, How Green Was My Valley. It sounds really risque. Based on the novel by Richard Lillywin, directed by John Ford and starring Walter Pidgeon and Maureen O'Hara, premiered in New York, received the Best Picture in 1942. Sounds like a Virgin joke. How green was my valley? Oh my God.
Only you would go there.
I don't think so. You gonna make
Like a
it?
pothead
I think
movie.
so.
Okay. 1946, German rocket engineers began work in USSR. So, yeah, during, after World War II, Russia was taking theirs. We got von Braun and all that stuff.
Yeah.
In 1948, the flag of Israel was adopted. All right, what a time to have that anniversary.
No kidding.
I know, right? Like, 1954, Major League owners voted down the sale of the A's to a Philadelphia syndicate. Okay. 1955, Egypt and Saudi Arabia signed a defense treaty. Okay. 1956, Pope Pius XII published encyclical Luctuosissimi Eventus. What the hell does that mean? Let's look that up here really quick. Paste. Okay, it's the Holy See, or whatever this is. Encyclical urging public prayers for peace and freedom for the people of Hungary. Okay, so there must have been something going on in Hungary. So, for further reading on that subject matter, please refer to the underbar description below. Link to that will be there post-stream, as I said at the top of this episode. Moving on up to 1958, Angelo Giuseppe Roncalli was elected Pope, taking name John the 23rd. That's kind of sad. That means that this Pope just died, like within 2 years. When did he die? 1958. October 9th, 1958. Oh, wow. Okay. So between October 9th and now, because he was elected in 1958.
Yeah.
So, it's kind of sad seeing this guy knowing that he died, whatever. 1962, Cuban Missile Crisis. U.S. President JFK received letter from Soviet leader Khrushchev suggesting an agreement. And yet, anybody who knows, like...
I've never heard of that.
Well, the Soviets really wanted peace. Like, the Soviets, like, as I said before, and KR, do you know much about the Cuban Missile Crisis?
No.
So basically it happened. So we know about, Soviets putting nuclear missiles on Cuba and all this stuff. We know that much.
What part of that creates peace?
Well, so the reason why that they put missiles there is because we had our missiles in Turkey,
Right.
literally on their doorstep.
Right.
So they were just evening the playing field.
Right.
So then we went to them and we said, hey, take your missiles away. No, they said, hey, take yours away. And we said no. So they're like, okay, fuck you. So from the very beginning, it was our Western aggression. Now, I'm no pro-Soviet. Believe me, I am not a pro-communist. Okay? But, facts are facts. They're responding to our aggression, hands down. If anybody wants to say anything otherwise, change my mind, as the meme goes. The Soviets always wanted peace. Like, they're like, hey, you have missiles on our border, okay, well then we'll put missiles on your border, we'll take them away if you take yours away. So, we always portrayed them as the bad guys, they always portray us as the bad guys. At the end of the day, the people just want to live,
Well,
so...
keep in mind there's a Western Hemisphere doctrine, and I've forgotten the name of it right offhand, but there can't be outside aggression like that, putting missiles in the Western Hemisphere.
Okay, well, what gives
But
us the authority to
that's
do
just a
that on the
doctrine.
Eastern?
Yeah. I'm just saying that's where he's going with this missile crisis. Why it's just not allowed. I get what you're saying, and I really can't dispute it.
Yeah.
But the channel he used was that.
The excuse.
Call it excuse, yeah, call it whatever.
Whatever the case, it was a reaction. Anyway, so he received a letter from, from Khrushchev suggesting an agreement. He's just like, please, can we stop? Yeah. Like, this is, like, how close do we get to nuclear Armageddon just because, we're being stupid children? I don't want to move my missiles because you don't want to move yours. Yeah, stop. What are you, 5? Just remove the fucking missiles, both of you. 1962 as well, Radio Moscow reported nuclear missiles in Cuba were deactivated. So there you go, right there. So they're reporting it, so they might not have, deactivated, but they're trying, like they're trying to do something. So, I would argue to say that the Russians did more to try to, prevent wars than we did, because there was one instance where Russia was trying to launch, and one guy stopped it and prevented it. So Russia has done more to prevent war, than we have.
Nah, I'm
so,
not going to go with that.
Well, as a historian, I'm letting you know. Anyway, 1965, Gateway Arch at 630 feet or 190 meters high was completed in St. Louis, Missouri. So, the arch.
I heard your mom talking about that when she lived in St. Louis. They were starting to build it.
Oh, wow.
And what was it completed again?
65.
65, yeah.
1965 as well, Pope Paul the Sixth proclaimed Jews are not collectively guilty for crucifixion of Jesus. So, which, and it wasn't the Jews, it was the Romans.
Yeah.
So, who was controlled by, what was him? Nero?
Oh,
was it?
I don't know.
It wasn't. I'm not sure if it was Nero, but he had converted to Judaism, actually. So the Romans were, in technicality controlled by the Jews because the emperor had converted to Judaism. So it wasn't the Jews controlling him, but their emperor was.
Well, Rome was controlling it.
Yeah.
Jew or otherwise.
Yeah. And Jesus was a Jew, so
yeah.
Anyway, 1970, NBA Cleveland Cavaliers first home game lost to San Diego 110-99. How many times, how many times people played their first game only to lose, or their first home game or whatever, and they lost at home? Like that is horrible.
Yeah.
1970 as well, the U.S./USSR signed an agreement to discuss joint space efforts. So no nuclear weapons in space. No weapons in space, or actually no, specifically no nuclear weapons in space. We can't have missiles and stuff in there if we want, lasers, as people are surmising is what's going on with Maui, thinking it was a Chinese laser attack, which might have been actually,
I got it. Backing up to the NBA thing, Cleveland Cavaliers.
Yeah.
It's only on the NBA, nothing to do with that. Magic Johnson's rookie season, first year, I think they went down to San Diego and beat them. And Kareem was on the team then, who was a seasoned veteran.
Mm-hmm.
And they win by a point or whatever, and Magic comes over, he's hugging him and he's cheering, and Kareem just looks at him and goes, we got another 81 to go.
Yeah.
81 games to go.
Yeah, it's like, hey, what are you celebrating? We just started our shift.
He came out of college, we won our first game. We got another 81 to go. Chill.
Yeah. 1971, John Lennon and Yoko Ono recorded the single Happy Xmas, The War is Over in New York City. Despite Yoko Ono being a screeching chihuahua, I do like that song. So it has a good chorus.
Don't trash her.
Am I wrong?
I don't know. I'm not commenting on that.
It's awful.
It's pretty unanimous. Yoko Ono killed John Lennon. So
what?
She put a hit out on him, yeah.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, no, to cash in on the money and all this shit, the insurance.
No, come on.
Yeah, of course. That's why she got in there. 1971, the British Parliament debated the European Community's principle of membership and voted 356 to 254 or to 244 in favor of joining, requiring a new law to be drafted and later final vote on joining. So Britain joining the EU,
Yeah.
the European Community, and all this
Yeah.
stuff. While that was going on, the United Kingdom became the sixth nation to have a satellite in orbit with the launch of Prospero. All right, that's cool. 1973, Elmore Smith of Lakers blocked 17 shots in a game, the NBA record.
Yeah. Elmo Smith, yeah, big tall guy.
Yeah, good old Lakers.
Mm-hmm.
So, 1973, the Indian Institute of Management, Bangalore, designed by architect B.V. Doshi, inaugurated by Prime Minister Indira Gandhi. Let's take a look at this. I'm a sucker for architecture, images. Oh, okay, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Like, okay, here we go. So it's like a large. Hold on, Bangalore. Let me get an aerial view. I want to see. Here we go. Okay, so it has a nice big round thing, and then a couple, and then we have a different set of buildings. Looks like here. That's interesting. Huh. Anyway, what else do we got? 1974, first time two Islanders hat trick in the same game. McMillan and Westfall.
No.
All right.
You know what a hat trick is?
No, but no.
3 goals.
Oh, okay.
Guy.
Oh,
so
okay.
they had 2 of them. But 2 guys had the hat trick.
Why is it called a hat trick?
Don't know the depth of it. But I don't know.
Why is it called a hat
But-
trick? A player gets a hat trick when they score 3 goals in one game, but the use of the term actually didn't start on the football pitch. The phrase came from cricket. And
Oh no! I'm glad I'm not a huge hockey fan.
and was used when a bowler took 3 wickets from 3 consecutive balls.
3, see? All of a sudden we don't know what you're talking about. That's cricket.
We understand 3. 3 is a common denominator
3
here.
wickets.
3
The
wickets.
hat.
The club would give the bowler a hat to celebrate this achievement. Okay, so
Sweet, free hat.
cool.
Hat. Got a hat.
Free hat from South Park. Didn't he like kill babies or
Yeah.
something?
Free hat.
Free hat. Free hat.
Oh God.
I found another South Park fan. You know, you were so proud that you knew what a hat trick was, and now you know it's from cricket.
Oh,
and
man.
now that term is ruined forever.
Yeah.
He's not a cricket fan. Nobody here is a cricket fan, unless it's a wireless provider. That's another story. Anyway, 1975, Calvin Murphy of Houston began an NBA free throw streak of 58 games.
Yeah.
All right. 75 as well, Cleveland Metro Parks assume operating responsibilities for the zoo in Cleveland, Ohio. All right. And Venezuela and foreign oil companies agreed to on a nationalization as of January 1st next year, 1976. And this reminds me of Tales of an Economic Hitman. Basically, like they go in, they destabilize countries, they force countries in order to, get some kind of economic stabilization to nationalize their oil and sell it to big companies, and it's a whole process. This is why Venezuela and so many Middle Eastern countries, so many South American countries, African nation, like third world nations are the way they are. Like it's awful. Like there's a whole video I want to show you later on. Are you aware of the whole Tales of an Economic Hitman thing, KR? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So you kind of know a little bit.
I kind of know what goes on.
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't seen the. Oh wait! Is that movie? The oil salesman movie?
I believe so. Yes. Confessions
Yes,
of an Economic Hitman. Yes. Yeah. It's a movie and a book and all that stuff. So I'll just add this here. But yeah. The book provides Perkins' account of his career with engineering consultant firm, blah, blah, blah. He claims that the NSA arranged for him to be hired by the firm and that he was subsequently seduced and trained as an economic hitman by a mysterious businesswoman named Claudine, yada, yada. The inside story of how America really took over the world. So, like, it's really, really, deep state stuff,
Yeah.
whatnot.
Just
So
a simple oil salesman routine.
Yep. In 1978, number 4, Bobby Orr scored his last career NHL goal versus the Detroit Red Wings.
Thank God it wasn't a hat trick.
Now you're just gonna hate on anything even remotely like adjacent to cricket. Burn in a fire. Oh my God. 1978, NBC's premiere of Kiss's acting debut, Kiss Meets the Phantom of the Park TV film. Alright, so they got into acting and everything. I wonder how much longer before they got into that movie, Kiss Saves Santa, from Family Guy. So.
Yeah. I've totally seen that movie.
So that was the rock and roll Kiss that got into acting?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Yep. 1979, Dick Howser, the best Yankee manager, win-loss PCT .636, returned to New York, replacing Billy Martin. Okay.
I remember going over to a friend of mine's house back in the day. He says, okay, the heavy-duty rock and roll, all right? He says, okay, there's a group that you have to see. I'm not going to tell you anything about them. I'm just going to give you their name. Kiss. Because it all, it was so different. It just blew everybody's mind.
And then he does the tongue thing,
but he wouldn't tell me. He says, no, you have to see them.
Just
you have to see them.
You think that's the best way to get somebody to figure it? Just give them one little breadcrumb, and then send them down the rabbit hole by themselves. 1981, Edward M. McIntyre was elected as first black mayor of Augusta, Georgia. Cool. 1982, Spain's socialists won, the communists lost elections. What's the difference?
Well, I don't know.
What's the difference between a socialist and a communist? Just the word you use to describe them?
It's the degree communist, you have nothing, basically. Socialist, I can't explain it.
Socialist is on the way to having nothing.
There you go. I guess.
Yeah. Socialism is a gateway drug to communism. Or Nazism. I mean, Nazis were socialists, so there we go. So, there's that. Fascists. Either way, it's fascism. Let's see here. 1986, the centennial of the Statue of Liberty's dedication was celebrated in New York Harbor, so 100 years.
Hey, today. Obviously.
Yeah, we've spoken about it 3 times now.
Yeah.
2 years later, 1988, jurors awarded $147,000 to Tacoma parishioner seduced by her minister. Oh. So like some kind of church thing. So, 1980 as well, Microsoft co-founder Paul Allen gave $10 million to the University of Washington Library just to deduct taxes, how all these...
Yeah, he's one of the original founders of Microsoft.
Yep. 1992.
The Clippers.
Oh, wow, okay, yeah, you're right. 1992, Lee Jang-rim predicted that today would be the end of the world! And I love how, once again, our source here, for how much I complain about it, every now and then they add, a little humanity, so there's an exclamation point right here. It's the end of the world, as we know it. Yeah. And you know what? I feel fine.
Yeah. That was a big deal. I don't know how that caught on. Everybody going, oh, it's the end of the world. There's jokingly, but everybody was talking about it.
There's so many.
Yeah, there's been so many. And then I remember...
our lifetime.
Remember the whole December 26th thing, or what was it, 23rd? 2012 was the end of the world according to the Mayan calendar?
2012.
Yeah.
2000.
I remember the 2012 one because that was a big one because of the Mayan calendar. That was that was the foundation,
that was it.
So I remember I was at...
It was also the year after. Because they're like, well, we're 1 year behind technically.
Because of leap year, yeah. Because they're like, oh wait, leap year is a thing, yada yada. So it's like, oh yeah, of course, whatever.
Yeah. And so, oh no, it'll be next year. Okay.
Yeah. But I remember when that happened, because I was at the hookah bar.
Oh.
So I saw that it had become midnight, so it was the dates. And then the music cut out, and I screamed at the top of my lungs in the middle of the hookah lounge, "Happy Apocalypse!" And everybody was all like, "What the fuck?" And I'm just like, "Mayan calendar!" And everyone's like, "Oh!" The whole thing. I had 100 people confused, and then I'm just like, "Mayan calendar!" And they're like, "Oh, okay."
See, that's not. understanding the calendar, because that's just a cycle.
Yeah.
Now kicks up into another one.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, then, but like as KR here said, and then he is right, because I remember they were like, oh, leap year, it was invented, yada yada. We had to put that into account, so it's actually this year. It's like, oh, fuck off, like, but in all honesty, as the meme goes, the world was supposed to end in 2012, and it didn't. But have we really felt alive since then?
Oh, man.
So. Anyway, let's get back into the history today here. 1993, Cleveland Metro Parks leased Brookside Park from Cleveland for 99 years. Huh. All right. 1994, Japanese space probe Sakigaki passed Earth for the third time. Sakigaki. Sakigaki. That sounds like if you leave your sake out a little too long and it forms
icky.
It forms the gaki,
Sakigaki.
like sakigaki.
That's just icky.
It stands for Pathfinder or Harbinger in English.
Okay.
It is a drug designation by the. Okay, well, what the hell?
Why would you name it Harbinger?
That does sound kind of ominous. Does Japan have a space program? Yes, they do. But if anybody can tell us a little bit more about the Sakigaki space program, exactly why it passing Earth for a third time is significant, let us know in the comments section. Moving on up to 1996, Apple Records released the Beatles Anthology 3 double CD triple LP, the last of a three-part series of rare recordings and outtakes by the Beatles. Set covers the years of 1968 through 70. Album tops Billboard charts in the U.S. and peaks at number 4 in the U.K. That's strange. It did hit number 1.
I saw this today when I just scanned through some stuff. They're releasing what they're calling the last song.
Yeah, remember we were talking about Creek Alley the other day. The Beatles are going to be releasing one last album this year.
I don't know if it's an album or a song.
It's an album.
Okay.
Or maybe a song, but there are some bits of music that were recorded by some of the people who are since dead back in the 70s that they're now putting into this music. So this year, friggin'
what's his name? Or the Beatle guy.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. No, Creek Alley. He's the one. Remember?
Okay, yeah.
Remember? Do you remember him talking with us? He said that this year they're releasing a new thing.
That's right. That's right.
So even in 2023, the Beatles are still releasing new shit. Like, oh my god. Can you believe that?
Yeah, it's wild, man.
Yeah. I thought.
Is it actual proven that they were recording it, or is it,
No, it's actual stuff. Like, Creek Alley is a diehard Beatles fan. This guy lives in the 60s.
What I was just quickly reading today was they've been working to package something.
That's what they're doing.
Is their original music. They never got released, but somehow they're...
Yeah, no. There's original music that was recorded back in the 70s that was never used, right. And now they're taking all the scraps and all the stuff that they had and making into a thing. Yeah, so George Harrison or whoever the dead people are, some of their stuff that was never released is now being released.
Right.
Is what they're doing.
Right.
So what you said. What you're talking about is the exact same thing that Creek Alley told us about a while ago.
Right. I forgot he had said that.
Yeah. Anyway, moving on up to 1997, NBA announced the hiring of Dee Cantor and Violet Palmer as the first woman to officiate a Major League all-male sports league.
Yeah.
All right. 1998, an Air China mainland China jetliner was hijacked by a disgruntled pilot, Yuan Bin, and flown to Taiwan. Wow, so they're all going to Taiwan. Huh. 2001, finally, we're in the home stretch here. 23 more years.
A home stretch.
Yeah. The indie cult hit Donnie Darko, starring Jake Gyllenhaal, was released.
Great movie.
I have yet to see it. So I have got to, actually, Donnie Darko. Hold on a second. Donnie Darko. I got to add that into the movie night channel. 2006, funeral service for the peace of the executed at Bykinivina Forest outside of Kiev, Ukraine, with reburial of 817 Ukrainian civilians out of some 100,000 executed by Bolsheviks at Bykinivina in 1930s, early 1940s. So
that was a huge massacre.
Yeah.
It's never talked about in history.
Of course not. Because the Bolsheviks were Zionists, I believe. So... 2007, one of the greatest movies of all time, starring Jerry Seinfeld, The Bee Movie, premiered in the U.S. and the U.K. on this date in 2007. Have you ever seen The Bee Movie?
I haven't.
Oh my god.
Oh yeah.
Is it good?
Okay.
No.
Oh, it's a B movie.
Yeah, it's hold on a second. I'll bring this up. Bee Movie.
It's a literal B movie.
And this is the cover art.
Oh, okay.
Do you think it's a good movie?
Oh, no.
Does that look like a good movie to you? It is so bad.
I was thinking
Like
of it as
shitty green on the
most
box,
movies
yeah.
that you want to be an A movie, but the
Yeah.
secondary movies are B movies.
No, it's a bee movie about bees.
I had it all wrong.
You know, you have it right, kind of, in a weird way.
Yeah.
But I've seen it. And
So Seinfeld
Well,
was behind it.
yeah,
huh?
I mean,
Seinfeld.
Now it starts to make sense.
It is
see?
Jerry Seinfeld.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah. My God.
Movie.
The Bee Movie.
I love the title.
Yeah.
I love that.
I did too. And
Had me
it
pumped.
really is a bee movie.
Yeah.
Like, in both sense. It's about bees, and it's a
The
B
movie.
rating, you know?
B rated.
Yeah.
Let's take one of the lesser animated comedians and have him make an animated movie.
What's funny is at the end, and like, it, you know,
Oh, you gonna spoil the ending for me? Like, I'll never
Well,
watch it.
the entire colony of bees works together to catch a falling aircraft.
Move on, please.
2008, in the UK, 500,000 mortgage holders were left in negative equity after house prices dropped 15% since the previous summer. Ouch!
Yeah.
Wow. That was around the bubble, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I remember 2007, the bubble popped over here.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
2009, NASA successfully launched the Ares 9 or IX mission, the only rocket launch for its later canceled Constellation program. Okay, what was the Constellation program? Let's look at that. And I know we're approaching the hour here, but this is interesting. Okay. It was a crewed space flight program developed by NASA, the space agency of the United States, from 2005 to 2009. So it doesn't really tell us much more about that. So I'm going to add that link into the underbar description section. Moving on up to 2012, Syrian ceasefire collapsed and 128 people were killed in an ongoing civil war violence. Yep. 2015, longest ever first game of Baseball World Series, 5 hours and 9 minutes. Whoa. Kansas City Royals defeated the New York Mets 5-4, also joint longest by innings, 14. So you get 2 of your 7 inning stretches there.
There you go.
But we've had innings go up into like the 20s and 30s. Like, didn't we have
Yeah.
like a 28 inning game once? Like,
Something like that,
like,
yeah.
hold on a second. Most innings in a MLB game.
But this is World Series.
33 innings. Holy shit.
Yeah, but this is the World Series.
Yeah, but this is World Series. But I'm talking baseball general.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
So the Pawtucket Red Sox played the Rochester Red Wings on April 18th, 1981 in a 33-inning game that spanned 2 days. Wow.
Well, they do have a curfew.
After-
so boring.
After 8 straight hours, the league president instructed umpires to suspend the game in the 32nd inning. So, wow.
Oh, so it could have kept going.
Yeah. So,
Well,
wow. Can you imagine?
I wonder if they have a curfew. They have a curfew now. They have to call the game and then start it the next day or start it the next time they're in town.
I don't think they did. I think this is why they have a
Sounds like
curfew
it.
now.
Yeah, that's
So-
probably why.
Yeah, because it says here the league president instructed the umpires, like, hey, this is enough. Like,
yeah.
I mean, I get stretching your dollars, but
Right,
you
it's
know,
ridiculous.
like 1 game ticket for 2 days. You know, like this isn't the World's Fair. You know, like
Yeah.
come on. It's not Disneyland. It's not like you can go, you know, hop from California Adventure to Disneyland back and forth, you know, season pass, whatever. 2015 as well, research indicating plaque dates back to the Bronze Age and skeletons 5,783 years old, published by University of Copenhagen team in Cell. So as far back as that, we've had plaque on our teeth. So
Well, that makes sense. Why wouldn't you?
talk about job security for dentists, eh? So,
It,
yeah, I have dentists coming up, and I'm not looking forward to. You know, like
Then the European elites had a solvent for plaque. Just bleach them.
yeah, bleached their teeth and then rotted their teeth from
And
the
then
outside
yeah.
in.
Kill the enamel and rot your teeth.
Yeah, and then get jaw infection and die, you know, because that goes to your brain.
But your teeth are white.
for now. Actually, this is why like my dentist recommends, because I use Sensodyne, don't get the whitening, because apparently even today whitening still causes damage. It gives you whitening, but then again, having bad teeth ensures job security, so maybe we shouldn't be listening to our dentists. So, but anyway. 2015, World Health Organization ranks tuberculosis alongside HIV as the world's deadliest infectious diseases, killing 1.2 million people in 2014. Wow. Tuberculosis.
The World Health lost me when they came out with what they felt about COVID.
Don't say that word
wrong.
Don't say that word online.
Okay.
That's a cancelable word. We might already be in trouble now, actually.
Sorry about that.
It's all right. You got to use code words like, prune juice, or, I think even the poke is maybe outlawed now. I'm not sure. Like, I just call it kung flu. So
okay, there you go.
Because now, now they have to accuse me of being racist. So, now they're focused not on this agenda. They're focused on that agenda. So it's like agenda, distraction, reverse psychology, mental gymnastics. Yeah. What kind of a world do we live in today, KR? I swear.
I know, man.
Oh. And as content creators, we really have to, we're not just stepping on eggshells. We're stepping on, what's worse than eggshells?
Longer. Every you'll come up with something else to name it, right? You and your little community, and then that, where you'll start getting, I know somebody who who's on, the crimes in the big cities like Chicago and whatnot, and he's been getting in trouble for calling certain people sunmen.
Sunmen?
Sunmen.
Oh my! You're talking about overly tan people?
Yeah.
Oh, wow! Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
The code name for black people, sunmen, and now that's bad. What?
When did we start this whole color thing? It just drives me nuts. Color's so irrelevant.
This guy was around. The Golden Loon was around when segregation was. He was in California, so it wasn't prevalent really out here. But he knew about it. It was here. It was around.
It's around.
And now he's seeing it come back in the other way. Now they want a whites only fountain to get us away from the blacks. The blacks want us away. What the hell?
Yeah.
It's.
Color's irrelevant. What are people thinking? And
apparently they're not.
I know. Color helps divide and conquer.
Yeah, it does. Anyway, let's get back into the history here. In 2017, Spain's central government imposed direct rule on Catalonia, dismissed its government, and called for new elections in December. So, a bunch of stuff involving Catalonia. I remember there's a whole hoopla around that. I believe Catalonia should be independent. I believe everything should be independent. Work together, yes, but be yourself. Yeah,
work together independently.
Yes. 2018, a political crisis in Sri Lanka after President Sirisena sacked Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe, and the cabinet suspended parliament for 2 weeks with one man killed in protests. And I believe that's when this one family embezzled the wealth out of Sri Lanka and then booked it out of there. I saw a video about that a while ago, about how one family, they did well for Sri Lanka at first, and then then they got ultimate power, and then they just fucked everything, sucked up all the money, and then left. And I think this is what happened. 2019, the country of Georgia was hit by a massive cyber attack affecting 2,000 websites, TV channels, and government departments.
Wow. Who attacked them?
I don't know. But, I've shown you, the live map of cyber attacks once, right? You saw the little lines going around back and forth and everything.
Seems to me, I can't quite remember, but yeah, I remember something.
But that was in real time. You're watching real time right now. This is attacking Israel. Israel's attacking Russia.
Yeah,
Russia's attacking the U.S. The U.S. is attacking frickin' North Korea. All the lines, going.
Yeah.
That's in real time happening right now as you're watching it. Those are cyber attacks happening.
Yeah.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
The cyber attack. Oh, bro.
Yeah.
Man. That's wild. That map is wild.
I know, dude. That's scary. It's like, it's kind of like, like those old, like nuclear war games or whatever, but it's not nuclear war. It's real time and it's cyber tag. Like somebody's website is getting wrecked right now, and I'm watching it happen.
Yeah.
Like
wow.
Live.
Unless they can block it.
Yeah.
Live, real time. Like
DDoS attacks, overwhelming and all that stuff.
It's like if you would put like a war game on, like a war. Or not war.
Yeah, like what I just said. Like
Rush. It's like if you put Rush online for like everyone to have access to, it would just.
Yeah.
It's wild.
Yep. While that was going on in 2019 as well, the EU agreed to another Brexit extension to January 31st, 2020. So more. It's funny. We're talking about Britain entering them, and then now they're getting out on the same date. Like, It's kind of weird.
Well, they weren't getting out, then they were given another extension to get out.
Yeah. Well, they were wanting to get out.
Yeah.
So.
And they were dropping the ball. They didn't get it. They wanted to get out. Well, it was voted in by the people.
Yeah.
And then somehow they didn't want to do it. The government, or I don't know if they didn't want to do it, but they sure dragged their feet for a long time.
Well, see, with the EU, because the UK is one of the most economic powerhouses in the EU.
Yeah.
But when you share a pool with everybody, then you're only strong as your weakest link. Yeah. And Greece, is still suffering, I think, from economic downturns and everything right now. I think they're stabilized, I'm not sure, but at the time, over the past 20 years, they haven't been doing economically. So when Greece goes down, the rest of the European community goes down. And then, on the other side of Europe, the Brits are like, oh, hi, mate, why are we, getting hurt by the Greeks? Let's just get the heck out of this bloody European Union,
Well, I think the biggest problem was they were giving up some of their sovereignty to get to join.
That too.
That was the biggest issue. Because you're looking to Germany as the real powerhouse.
That's scary.
Europe. Huh?
That's scary.
They won't be for that long for, what they've done politically, counting on Russia for...
Third time's the charm? Well, I mean, they were the powerhouse in the early 1900s, and they were the powerhouse in the 1930s. Both times ended in disaster in the same way.
Yeah.
This is the third time, but instead of war, they're just doing it another way. So.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
They made a lot of bad decisions with what's her name as their chancellor.
Angela Merkel.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was an idiot.
Relying on.
She was like woman
Russia.
Hitler.
Relying on Russia.
Oh yeah, really stupid. So. Anyway, moving on up to 2020. 15th century medieval manuscript, the Book of Lismore, returned to Ireland after donated by Chatworth Settlement to University of College Cork. 15th century manuscript. That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. 2020, new coral reef 500 meters or 1,640 feet high, taller than the Empire State Building, discovered north of Australia's Great Barrier Reef. How does something like that just manifest? How do you just discover that?
Well, it's always been there. We just didn't know about it. Someone found it.
But how?
How does it get a coral reef that size, that tall?
Yeah.
Jeez.
New coral reef. Well, let's just take a.
It's not new at all. It's just new to us.
Yeah. Oh, here we go. Oh, so that's what it is. So it's not like a whole thing.
It's up.
It's just a pyramid thing. So there we go. That's interesting. So there's a giant ocean nipple. Taller than the Empire State Building. Well, I mean, it is cold down there, so, And actually, speaking of nipples, Kim Kardashian, okay, has, I don't know why I know this, has invented a bra that has nipples in them. So, you have permanent nipples,
Yeah, show it out.
Why?
It's out your blouse for
Because
sure.
women don't look like whores enough.
Apparently for the Kardashians, you're right there. No. Moving on up to 2021, the largest ever drug bust in Asia was made by police in Laos with 55 million methamphetamine tablets and 1.5 tons of crystal meth discovered in beer crates.
Ooh.
Going back to the nipple effect. Yeah, I can remember back in the 50s when they had pointed bras. I mean,
Oh, yes.
Some
yeah,
woman,
with, Madonna.
wearing a sweater looks like I could put
Yeah.
put your eye out.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Madonna with her cone bra.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you, KR? Have you seen Madonna recently?
The whole plastic puff.
Yeah.
TikTok.
Oh my God. Like, I feel so bad for her. Like, I don't even want to bring it up. It's horrifying.
It's sad.
Yep. We have 2 more articles here. 2022, hammer-wielding intruder attacks Paul Pelosi, 82-year-old husband of U.S. Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi, at their California home. Yeah, no, that has been proven wrong. They believe now that it was Nancy who beat her husband almost to death with a hammer after discovering that he was in some kind of gay thing or something. I don't know.
Heard of that.
Like,
but that happened a year ago. They have never really gotten to the bottom of it.
How weird
never
was
released
that, man?
I know.
Police report. It's just weird.
I literally recently discovered a meme about different kinds of hammers, and there's one that was a marital aid hammer, and it said the Paul Pelosi or something. And last but not least, 2022, Swedish engineers in Linköping produced the world's first female crash dummy. Previous female dummies were just a scaled-down version of the male figure. Okay, so having a set of tits is really going to affect how your body's going to careen differently in a crash. You're going to die.
Yeah.
You know?
We're all inclusive over there, man. Stop being a bigot.
I gotta look this up though. Female crash dummy. I spelled crash wrong. Okay, yeah. So now they have breasts. Woohoo!
Yeah.
A slightly
They're
different
still
skeletal
manly.
structure.
They're still manly-ish.
Hey, we're gonna discover how your body is gonna twist in this mangled wreck with a different skeletal structure. You're still getting mangled, you know. Why does it matter?
Hey.
I like what you say though. We're all inclusive.
Female mannequins need jobs too.
Oh my God. Wow. Anyway, that shall conclude the show. Once again, please check the underbar of the description for any links you may be interested in, including but not limited to all things Omni Coalition. We are also on Rumble and BitChute. We are on Odyssey, but we only use that for the kicking the peanuts. Links to those, as well as all of our social medias and everything else, on our Linktree. And King's Refuge YouTube is on the Linktree as well. There, the guy with the amazing walking stick. For your dose of Passive Instantly, we stream not every day, we stream every Tuesday through every Friday through Tuesday at 11 in the morning Pacific Time, which is 12 noon Mountain, 1 Central, and 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, respectively. For all of you and all of us, I am Ao Xander.
King's Refuge.
Golden Moon.
And you are you. Until you catch us tomorrow, don't forget to look right and left at every intersection, rate 5 thumbs, and subscribe. Toodles!